Story number 1. He went Pikachu wow face when I asked if he could read r/IDontWorkHereLady, Reddit stories. I used to be a DSD vendor, which in the US is someone who goes to stores like supermarkets and stocks a very specific name brand of product from stock in the back, and then leaves to go to the next store, repeat. We're often employed directly by the name brand, not the store itself, so I have loads of IDWHL stories, but a few of them are real special. Chances are if you see someone stocking a name brand of snack cakes, chips, sodas, beer, greeting cards, trading cards, snack crackers, cookies, or tobacco, you're actually looking at a DSD vendor. I was doing my usual thing stocking my brand, and went to part of Small Shart's racetrack, which is the main walkway in front of a department. A dude I would shortly discover was as dumb as a bag of hammers, and thus here named BH, comes up to me, completely ignoring my hat with logo, shirt with logo, cart with logo, not a store cart, literally a my-branded cart, 30-odd boxes with logo, and armloads of logo product, and asks me where's something not logo, naturally, is typically in the frozen section. Me, I think those are usually in the frozen section. BH, which aisle are those on, then? Me, keep going down that way until you get to the freezer section, and then look there, pointing to the area of the store where the freezers are very obviously to anyone with half a brain. BH walks one aisle down. BH, I don't see them. Me, the freezer section is about 7 aisles down. Keep going until you get to the freezer section. BH walks one more aisle down. Where? Me, keep going a long way down. You'll see the freezers. BH moves one more aisle down. I can't see any. Me, keep going. Look for the freezers. BH then moves one more aisle down. Where? Exasperated with his incompetence, I set my logo stuff down, and walk over to him, fully intending to say something to the effect of, "Can you not see the signs above the aisles, and can you find the big signs that say what stuff is on the aisle and read what they say?" But instead what came out was a stumbling over slightly yelling. Me, can you read? It's now BH's turn to be exasperated, and turns to me and looks at me completely incredulously with furrowed brow, mouth hanging open, in perfect Pikachu expression as if to say, "Did I hear you literally say that to me right now?" using facial expression alone. I just turned back toward my cart and mumbled out, "I don't work for the store," and got back to my logo stuff. I really had actually fully intended to say something else after Red, but just the question's silliness on its own gave me pause to laugh internally about what the next word should be, that I just left it hanging on Red. I didn't see where BH traipsed off to after that, and on my way out I told a manager for the supermarket and how I asked him if he could read, and she said not to worry about it, laughing, saying, "I literally want to say that every single day." I'm glad at least somebody did, and that if it ever came back around as feedback against me, she would shut it down. Good times. Story number 2. Either early set Alzheimer's or a stroke. Disclaimers, non-English speaker, not in the US. This happened about 3 years, but I saw the Karen again on TV today and it reminded of the incident. So, almost 3 years ago I was finishing work on site when my wife called me, asking for some groceries. You see, earlier that year we had made the crucial mistake of introducing our 4-year-old to fried zucchini ball sandwiches. My wife was working from home and our daughter wanted them for dinner, but we were out of zucchini and mozzarella. On my way home, I made the mistake of stopping on the first market I found. It happened to be on an upscale neighborhood and a bit pricey, but needs must when your daughter calls. I was still on my working clothes, blue cargo pants, blue pole with the name of my company, which looked the pale green shirts of the employees, very close to the M&S uniform for UK readers. Also, it was just after the opening of the first quarantine, so it was Karen's in wild season. I was browsing the cheeses, they were out of mozzarella unfortunately, trying to make a crucial decision when the dreaded throat clearing. I thought I was in the way, so I moved a bit to the side and continued my browsing. Then again a throat clearing, followed by an "excuse me" and a tap on the shoulder. I turn around and come face to face with Karen. "Karen, I want you to get me these," and hands me a list and a basket. I took a look at the list, put in the basket, left the basket on the floor and said, "Nope." Karen, surprised by my insolence, "Do you know who am I?" She was a Z-list celebrity making the rounds of gossip panels. "I can get you fired." Me, first, I don't work here. Second, judging from your statement and the fact you couldn't recognize I'm not dressed as an employee, I have to say early set Alzheimer's. The nurse in me decided to be snarky. Karen, starting to turn rage red, "What dash? WH dash?" Me, or, adding the face color and slurred speech, "It could be a stroke. You should check it with your doctor." I replied and walked away. As I was paying, I noticed her having a heated conversation with someone that I presume was a manager and pointing at me. I left them in the conversation and headed home to make sandwiches. Story number 3. I legally can't work here. For context, I have always looked younger than I am. I'm 24 and people still ask to see my ID for 18+ events and rated R movies. When I was in middle school, my uniform consisted of khaki pants or skirts and a dark green collared shirt. I also used to frequent a discount store chain that happened to have the same uniform, but you had to be 18 to even apply to work there. Every week, my mom would let my brother and I each spend a couple of dollars in the store after school. People asked me all the time where things were and I could usually say I don't work here. They would see I was very clearly a child, and they would leave me alone. One time when I was about 12 my mom took us to the store. It was after school, so I had my uniform on, but I also had my school ID, plastered with my school name, hanging around my neck. I was browsing the candy section when a man came up to me. I'd seen him there a lot before that day but never up close. He was a big dude, and I'm already very shy, so I was nervous to start with. Him, "Toilet paper." Me, "What?" Him, angrily, "Toilet paper. Where is it?" Me, "I don't know. I don't work here." Him, "Yeah, you do. You're wearing the shirt." Me, "No, see." Holding up my idea. Him, starting to yell, "This is why y'all are stuck working in such a stinkhole. You're all lazy and dumb as frick." At that point my goddess of a mother came around the corner. She used to be a criminal prosecutor and isn't afraid of anything. She grabbed me by the shoulder and kind of pushed me out of the aisle, saying over her shoulder, "She's 12, butthole." My mom took me up front to check out and told the manager what happened. The manager asked me who did it, and I was trying my hardest not to cry, so all I could do was point. It was a small store. The manager said she would take care of it and my mom hustled me out to the car and back home. I never saw that guy again. I ended up working in that same location with the same manager after I turned 18. Apparently, she told him if he wanted to talk to people like that then she didn't want his business. The job ended up sucking, but that manager always looked out for me. Thanks, Janae. Story number 4. You picked the wrong guy. I finished my day at a city police station at the same time as shift change. Left the building talking to 4 other people, a detective carrying a briefcase with the department markings on it, and 3 uniform officers. I'm dressed business casual carrying my toolkit and a box of parts. Note, I'm a field service engineer, computers. We get to the street and start to go our separate ways, so I'm about 5 feet away when a car pulled up, passing the 4 officers and stopping in front of me. The passenger window is down and I hear, "Excuse me, officer." I bend down to look into the car. I see a gold badge and hear, "Where do I park for the police station?" The ID shows his rank, so I referred to him as Captain when I gave him directions to the proper parking lot. While hearing multiple WTF comments from the others. As the car pulled away I couldn't help myself, so turned to the other guys and said, "I guess I'm the only one of us that looks like a cop." Story number 5. Your employee is unhelpful. I work a veterinary hospital that is situated a 2-minute walk away from the local crockery store. When I take a 10-minute break, I usually ask people if they want anything. My favorite thing to happen is when we need something for the hospital, as I get paid to grab my drinks and snacks and then I get to take my full 10-minute break. So a week ago I get asked if I can grab some easy cheese when I go to grocery store. There wasn't any issue finding the easy cheese, and I grab some Slim Jims for me and my work wife and a Coke and cradle my bounty in my arms and make my way to the register. I hear someone ask, "You work here?" come from in front of me and ignore it because I'm wearing green scrubs with a clearly visible radiology badge and a name tag with Certified Veterinary Technician in bold below my name. But suddenly something grabs my left arm and I nearly drop the cans of fake cheese. "Where's the barbecue equipment?" a woman hisses at me as I see an old woman bundled up in a black fluffy coat and sunglasses that cover half of her face as she loosens her grip on my arm. I'm stunned for just long enough for both of us to speak at the same time. "Don't know, don't work here," I say over her. "Well." She scowls as she glances at my bounty and seems to realize that the name tag doesn't have the name of the store spelled out and my job isn't pharmacists or whatever. She huffs and leaves, and I quickly check out, assuming that is the last I'll ever see or hear of her again. When I get back, I put away the easy cheese and take my 10 as I enjoy a Slim Jim and read some comics. I'm a little confused and worried when I go to clock in, as some of my coworkers are staring at the camera, a little worried there's an emergency. I check it out and see the lady in the front lobby with her buggy blocking the door, holding her massive amount of one grocery bag. She seems rather aggressive as she is talking to the hospital manager. I ask what's going on, and they said she came in about a minute ago and demanded to talk to a manager. After standing around for a minute wondering what they are talking about, she leaves, finally letting in a tech appointment with her cat. My manager comes back confused and asked what happened, and I told that the old woman grabbed me and asked where something was, and I told her I didn't work there and didn't know. Manager tells me the old woman said that I was very rude to her and yelled at her and was unhelpful, and that she should hire or train people to be more helpful and fire me. She said she told the woman that doesn't sound like me, as I have never raised my voice at work. That they do not work for the grocery store or are cross-trained with the grocery store, therefore do not need to help with customers of a different establishment, and tried multiple times to get the woman to move her buggy.